You're watching the Common Constitutionalist Video Podcast, Special Weekday Edition. Hey there, my name is Brent Smith, and again, I'm the Common Constitutionalist. Welcome to the Common Constitutionalist Video Podcast, Weekday Edition, for want of a better term. Veterans Day Edition. Thank you for all my fellow vets, all branches. Frankly, even first responders and things like that. Thank you guys also. But thank you. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your sacrifice. Thanks to your families for their sacrifice, and so on. I guess the first thing I should do is tell you, it's like the freaking middle of November, and I'm out here in a tank top. I love global warming. Global warming is awesome, and there should be much more of it. Okay? And frankly, I don't even care if the globe is warm, as long as it's warm around here. Couldn't care less. Than like a freaking biodome. At any rate, I'm just thrilled to death. It isn't going to last. I understand that, but we'll take it. In New England, you take it anyway, anywhere you can get it. So today, I decided I'm going to talk about... I've entitled this video podcast, "The Left Has Decided the Election is Now Safe in Their Hands." And I'll get right into that after this. Alright, let's get into this, shall we? Oh, man, I suck at this. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to hit the alert button, don't forget to do something else. It'll come to me. Man, I'm pathetic. Oh well, what the hell. I have fun doing this, so I guess that's, and I hope that it's somewhat informative. Here we go. So the left has been telling us for days that the election has been called for Biden. Okay, you've seen the hot mic CNN thing probably, where the woman doesn't know she's on, her mic is on, and one of the Trump people is talking about contested elections and all this fraud and everything like that, and the reporterette or the anchorette or whatever the crap her name is CNN is just shaking her head going, don't you know? We called this. It's like, oh yeah, okay. I didn't know that the Constitution said that it's the Electoral College that decides the election, or the leftist media, whichever comes first. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. So the left has been telling us for days now that the election was called for Biden, and anyone who disagrees with that premise is some sort of a heretic, and I don't say that lightly. Literally, they think we're heretics if you think other than what they think, which is Biden is the president now. And it's not hyperbole. Speak much. It's not to call somebody a heretic in this particular case. Frankly, I'm not sure if that's strong enough language, to be honest with you. Marxists, look at Marxists like AOC, who've actually called for and are developing lists of Trump donors and supporters so they can be blacklisted, not from any job or vocation or anything, from society completely. She wants to just blacklist them from society. This is doxing on, I don't know what the most powerful steroid in the world is, but that times 10. This is absurd, okay? And you will, if things keep going the way they're going, you and I, any conservative out there, will be, in fact, blacklisted, doxed, whatever the crap it is. They'll have a special or secret arm of the government or something like, or somebody like a Soros-backed organization, Open Society or something like that, is going to give them millions upon millions of dollars to dox all of us and make our lives miserable as retribution for having the temerity to vote for someone other than the person that they want us to vote for. Okay, so dopey leftist world leaders have all called in to congratulate Biden. You know, all the European idiots that hate Trump anyway, and like the deep staters, deep state Republicans that just wanted him to go away for the longest time. Biden obviously has already put together their official transition team or transition government, or I don't know what there's some sort of dopey special name for it. I can't remember what it is. And Uncle Joe is acting presidential, of course, or as much as a leftist can act presidential, because we've seen that. A few of his, before I get into this other stuff, a few of his first foreign policy initiatives are going to be rejoining the climate accord. That'll be great, and that won't cost us any money at all. So that's great. Just as we're getting back from recovering from the COVID hoax, then Joe Biden's going to step in and completely trash our economy. Yay. I understand that he wants to give away 500 million vaccines worldwide before we in America get it, okay? Because he wants to, you know, he wants to show the world that America is back and that we care about the world, okay? And of course, he's going to sign back on to the Iran deal. And to that, I heard Hollywood was going to be making a new blockbuster movie entitled Throw Bibi from the Train. You know what I mean? Throw mama from the train. Bibi as in Bibi Netanyahu. Israel, they're just tossed under the bus and away they go. And Biden actually said that America is going to be back and ready to lead. Lead what, you might ask? Well, lead from behind, like Obama, I guess. I can think of any other thing. There'll be no more jingoistic America First nonsense. None of this Trump stuff. None of this America First stuff. We are all going to be citizens of the world again, and won't it be wonderful? Okay, so back to calling the election and why the left feels that they're safe at this point. So evidently the left is so confident that they've won that they don't appear to be concerned in the slightest of any challenges, investigation, or lawsuits being filed by the Trump people, okay? And there are hundreds, I guess, or something like that, throughout all these different states. So how do I know that they're this confident that they've won? It's easy. Like I said, actions speak louder than words. It's not what they say, it's their actions that speak so loudly. 2 states were suddenly called in succession for Trump. Trump wins Alaska, Trump wins North Carolina, okay? All of a sudden, just out of the blue, these states were called. No warning that I know of, anyway. So, gee, I wonder why all of the leftists suddenly called these 2 contested states. Now, Trump had won these things a while ago, certainly North Carolina. It was obvious that he won this state, but it hadn't been called yet. And it certainly isn't. They called these states certainly not to any of Trump's advantage, that's for sure. It's because the left believes that at this point that they are indeed safe, that they can no longer lose this election no matter what. They know giving away these states without a fuss has no bearing on a Biden victory. So they can make it look like, oh, look, we're fair and we're giving these states to, we're calling these states for Trump because it's a fair and free election and we're not doing anything underhanded. That's what they're saying. That's the signal they're trying to give off. So let's not worry about the 11,000 incident reports and 500 sworn affidavits alleging election irregularities and fraud in multiple states that the Trump people have already put out. But this, according to Fox's Neil Cavuto, if you've seen this guy, what a waste of space this guy's turned out to be. Apparently, according to Neil Cavuto, this is nothing but hearsay, it's baseless charges, and he just doesn't have time for such things. Kayleigh McEnany, if you saw that clip. You need proof, don't you know, like the proof that they provided in the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. That kind of proof. Then we'll report on it. Right, Neil? But maybe, just maybe, the Trump team is affidavit harvesting, you know? I'm just saying. Never mind that the attorneys collected, and in some cases they've signed these affidavits themselves, and if you're an attorney that does such a thing, you can be not only disbarred but jailed, okay? So there's a huge deal riding on a false affidavit, particularly if you're an attorney, okay? But still, it's just all made up nonsense, I'm sure, all right? But the point is, again, by their actions, the political and media left have signaled that that this election is safe in hand for Biden. It's like waiting until all the votes in these contested states have been counted, the ones that were called for Biden already. All the votes were counted, and then they know exactly what they need to produce a victory for Biden. I mean, that's just the way. Do I have proof at this point? No, of course not. Nobody has absolute 100% proof positive that this is what's happening. It just seems awfully damn coincidental. It's just funny how many of these critical swing states have all been decided virtually the same way. Big lead for Trump going in. Biden magically pulls it out in the 11th hour because they find votes. They bring in votes at 4:30 in the morning in the back door instead of the front, the way it's supposed to be done. But as it always is with leftists, keep moving, folks. Nothing to see here. And if there is something to see here, we'll put up barriers so you can't see. This whole thing is just I'm telling you, it doesn't pass the smell test. And that's what I go on initially, is does this thing pass the smell test? There are just too many damn red flags up here for this thing to be legitimate, as they say. It's just too many damn red flags, okay? And always be mindful that whenever somebody on the right claims that there's election fraud, the left will come out and say, there is no proof of widespread voter fraud. Well, voter fraud doesn't need to be widespread, okay? It only needs to be in specific places to get a specific amount of votes to win the state election. That's the way it works. It doesn't need to be widespread, but they put it out there because people, when they hear widespread voter fraud, they just hear voter fraud. So there's no proof of voter fraud. No, there's no proof of widespread voter fraud because there may not be widespread voter fraud because there doesn't need to be. That's the point, folks. Now that's all I've got. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. That's the ticket. Share. Sharing is good. Okay? Make sure you share Trump donors' names and stuff. So there you go. That's all I got. See you.